Morning. That's dumb. Yeah, we'll get into that. That is today's topic. Good morning, Tarkov. If you guys are watching the VOD, which as people are starting to get in here with the live segment here, I'll explain that if you are watching the VOD, this is the morning show that I've been putting on for the last few days. This is actually the 7th, so this has been a full week now. And it's a show where I try to do my best to interact with you guys and answer any kind of questions that you have and elaborate maybe on some of the past videos and stuff like that, because the comment section doesn't always do it. We're trying to... I try my best to get to all the comments that I can, but then waiting 15 minutes to get a response from someone or longer, and then being able to pick back up on that conversation after answering other people, it's actually really difficult these days for me. So hopefully with these morning shows and eventually once I get my shit together with the live streams, there's actually a bit of a more story to that with the live streams, actually, because it seems like, at least from what I've heard, apparently nowadays if you're not partnered on Twitch, you can't stream more than 720p, which for Escape from Tarkov is pretty difficult. Crank that voice again. Crank that voice. Can you guys not hear me? Let me guys know if you guys can't hear me. Anyway, let me get through my intro here real quick. So if you guys are watching the VOD, if you check the top of the description as well as the top comment, I'll have it pinned up there. You'll see some timestamps of when I do what in the stream, because this isn't my usual content. This is going to be about an hour long, and so I'll try to help you guys out as best as I can to keep you guys with the flow of the stream. So the way that I usually do these is I start off by doing a bit of a topic for today, which today the topic is That's Dumb. And the reason why I've chosen that title is because it's going to be based on a bit of the feedback and the comments. That's actually one of the most common comments that I get on videos where I talk about the future of Escape from Tarkov. It's either, that's dumb, that doesn't make any sense, the game's going to die once that comes into the game. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Stuff like that. So we're going to get into that a little bit, and that's going to be the subject for today. As we're waiting for people to actually join the live stream, though, I'm just going to kind of do my intro and just kind of hang out with you guys a little bit, and then once I see the numbers pop up a little bit, that's when I'll get into the intro. And like I said, if you guys want to stay up to date with that in the VOD, you'll see the timestamps in the description and the top of the comments. But anyway, for everyone that's here live, good morning, Tarkov. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Vietnam. This is Tarkov, sure. This is Tarkov. You got to go, a couple thousand miles north there, northwest. Cheers. Crank that voice again. Yeah, crank that voice gain. Oh, is it the gain? Does it not sound good? I hope it doesn't. I hope it sounds all right. I'm having a hell of a time with audio these days. Good morning, loud and clear. All right, should be cool. Can't hear you. You're just a little quiet. Okay, interesting. Give me some feedback on that, guys. Give me some feedback. Everything on my end says that I shouldn't be that quiet. Give me some feedback on that. Do I actually sound quiet? Maybe you just need to turn your, maybe your mixer's messing with you a little bit. Audio levels are fine. Yeah, everything on my end looks like I should be fine, man. It might be on your end there. Morning, Kelpie. Voice is fine. Okay, cool. Is this a podcast or are you about to play? The morning shows are technically like a podcast, but I interact with you guys, so it's kind of hard to explain. It's like it's like a live stream, but there isn't going to be gameplay. If we have a topic that I can show something, then I usually put them up on the stream. Like yesterday, we had some other stuff. Like if I have some like screenshots or something that you're asking about specifically, then I can pop it up here. But it's only for about an hour, and it's specifically to interact with you guys. I was mentioning earlier about the live streams on Twitch. Twitch is where I do my gameplay. And let me see here. Let me just pop up. I know yesterday we were talking about armor plates, and I know I had a few of those popping up somewhere. Where'd those go? I can do stuff like this, where if I have a video or if I have some screenshots, I guess we could just do this. You can pick this up here. Like this is going to be a good example if I do something like this. So I can bring this over here. And then here's one of the most recent the work in progress screenshots we got from BSG, and I can bring stuff up like that, and we can discuss like what is that. And for me personally, I have no idea what this is. We were talking for days on trying to figure out what that is. I don't know what that is. This isn't the subject for today, but this is kind of like how these things go. If something pops up, like if I get a good question, I have other screenshots and I have other pictures. This is my whole folder for all the stuff for Escape from Tarkov. I'm just quickly clicking through here. This is all my stuff from like recent videos and stuff too that we can explain if anything comes up regarding Escape from Tarkov or guns or future features and stuff like that. I can do stuff like this if I need to. But otherwise, no gameplay. Also, another thing today is if you guys do not behave in the chat, I'm gonna be doing this. Chat box is gonna go away. We've had some trolls recently in the chat, so I'm sure they're doing it because they pop up on screen. So if we're going to get if you guys aren't behaving, then I'm going to take the chat off the screen. That's another thing too. All right. Let's see. Voice is so soothing. All right. Looks like the audio's working. Good morning. Kurish, good morning. Do you agree with Clean's ideology that your gamma container should only be used to bring valuable items into the raid and not out of the raid? That is an amazing topic, and I've been meaning to, every time someone asks that, I feel like that should be a topic. So I'm going to take a note of that because that's something that I need to remember as like a good topic for the day for one of these. So we're going to leave an entire stream for that kind of a thing because that's such a huge topic. Personally, this isn't like a, you know, I'm not going at Clean. I love Clean. I'm a multi-year sub to Clean. He was one of the OGs that I watched. I would have him on my second monitor at work and all that stuff. For the early days of Tarkov, for me personally. But it's his own opinion. So if he sees the game, if he thinks that's going to make the game better, then that's going to make the, you know, in his mind, that could make the game better. Personally, my opinion when it comes to stuff like that is that we are here to test the game. And hopefully they have stuff like that pop up on the ETS and they get some proper testing with that. Literally nothing is out of, like, unless you guys want to, like, start riding around on My Little Pony or something like that. Literally everything is open game for me in terms of testing, because the way that I picture this is that the real party doesn't start until launch day for Escape from Tarkov for me. So I want everything on the table. I don't want anything, you know, I don't want anything questioned, or I want everything questioned is the, you know, the real way to put that. Question everything, test everything, try everything, and see if we can get this game as good as we possibly can for launch day. That's my perspective on things. So if there's a lot of people that seem to think that that's going to improve the game, then we're going to need to maybe, you know, test that on the test that out on the ETS. However, the way that I think about that is we really need to be careful about how we handle the secure containers, because people purchase the game. Hundreds of thousands of people purchase the game expecting that secure container to act a certain way. When I bought the game, you could put guns in there. You could put anything that you wanted in there. And hell, there was even a couple bugs here and there where you could even use the gun from that. And that was, I mean, thankfully they ended up fixing that stuff. And you could put rigs in there. You could put lots of stuff in there. And now they were toning it down. They were working on it, things like that. So I think that we did have a discussion the other day about as realistic as playable, which it is. It's tough to understand how that is realistic, but that is as playable. That's on the as playable side of that coin. It just makes sense for the early game. It makes sense just for people that are trying to pick up on the game. It makes sense from a this is a game standpoint to have something that at least a little bit of something. It's not going to be guns. It's not going to be the super expensive stuff. It's going to have you can't necessarily use stuff immediately from it unless you actively go into your inventory and, you know, quote unquote, open it up to see if you can use the meds in there or the key in there or anything like that. So yeah, it's something that really should be tested thoroughly, and hopefully the ETS can get on that eventually. But I personally, I like it the way it is right now. The super expensive stuff, at least unless there's a bug involved, which eventually they'll hopefully get to fixing that. You can't put guns in there. You can't put the thermals in there. You can't put the MVGs in there. And I think it's in a good place right now. And I think the frustration that comes from that is from the economy. And I think there's other ways to fix that. There's other ways to fix how people are using those to make a negative effect on the, you know, on the community. Because people are worried about like hatchet runners and pistol runners and people being able to just get the good stuff, whether even if they're not a hatchet or a pistol runner, just get quickly to those items, those lead X's or whatever, and then you never see them again in the raid. I think there's other ways around that. I think, like personally, if you want to go down that route, you could put scavs up there. The scav bosses can patrol a little bit better around those kind of areas. Things like that. I think that there's other ways around that that makes more sense than changing something that people bought and expected to work one way in the chat, or in the chat, in the game. All right, now that the numbers are picking up here, guys, let's get to today's subject. Excuse me. I forgot to get a water. Shoot, I forgot to get a water. So that I can keep my voice going here. All right, guys, reminder that since everyone's here now, if you guys do not behave in the chat, we had some trolls yesterday. If you do not behave in the chat, this is gonna happen. It's gonna disappear. So I'm gonna take your, you know, I'm gonna take your on-screen chat privileges away if you guys don't behave. I'll keep that up there. All right, we're not getting to the Q&A just yet, guys. I was just waiting for the numbers to pick up a little bit, and then we're gonna get on to today's subject. But give me 20 seconds here, guys. 20 seconds. I need a water so that I don't lose my voice. And I'm an idiot and I forgot to grab it. So I will be right back. I'll be right back. Like I said, now that everyone's shown up here, let's get to today's topic. Going to bed? All right, later, Double. All right. So like I said, the way that I usually start these off is I do a bit of a topic that I have selected, and I just kind of get the chat going. It seems like you guys get going on your own there with the questions these days, so maybe I'll do like a free, I don't know, maybe we'll do like a free day or something eventually here, where I don't really do a topic, we just purely Q&A. But usually I like to start these off with a topic. So today's topic, as you can see from the title, is That's Dumb. So, blah. The reason why I started doing these morning streams is to be able to interact and, you know, communicate with you guys better about the future of Escape from Tarkov as I see it. One of the most common responses that I get in the comments is something along the lines of, that's dumb, that sounds stupid, that's going to kill the game, and I'll stop playing once that is in. For some reason, you know, nothing against vegans if there's any vegans in here, but those kind of people to me are like the vegans of Escape from Tarkov. They have to let everyone know that they either stopped playing or they're going to stop playing. Like, I don't know why. Like, hey, nothing against them. I think these people might be worse than actual vegans, but, you know, just, you know, nothing against you guys if you are in the chat here. But it's just like, it seems like if you are a vegan, you need to tell everyone that you're a vegan. And it seems like those kind of people in the Escape from Tarkov community seems like they need to tell everyone that they're going to stop playing. That's the way that I see that stuff. But, and 9 times out of 10, they've played like 5 hours in the game and then they get shot up and then they don't want to continue. That's the way that I see things. And for some reason, it just pops up all the time. So the way that I kind of wanted to go at this is unless it's from the mind of a troll, which granted most of the time this stuff is, this is one of the most confusing responses to me when it comes to future plans for a game like this that is still in development. Sure, BSG could be doing a much better job showing us and actually planning out a roadmap and showing us that roadmap so that people can get a better idea of what's going to come in the future of the game before they end up buying the actual game. And if that's your argument, I can kind of get behind that. I understand that completely. But given the circumstances, unfortunately, we don't have that. You got to leave it up to content creators like me to be able to put that stuff out ahead of you. And in case you're wondering, in a week or so here, I should have a video where it's literally how I see Escape from Tarkov at launch in my mind, and it's going to play out just like that. We had that puppet show the other day showing off Karma, and it's going to play out a little bit more like that, except it'll actually look a lot good. It'll look a lot better. It'll look actually good. So yeah, I'm working on that. So if we want to go straight off just what we know currently, if we want to go straight off just what we know going into the game, it's a little difficult to kind of stay so close-minded that you're going to play a game that's still in development. And maybe that's the trouble with the industry these days, where people say that the game is still in development when it's technically done. They just want more money to be able to finish paying off a team or whatever. Depends on the game. It's different from game to game. But games like Escape from Tarkov, games like Star Citizen is probably not a good idea though to get it. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But Ashes of Creation is another good one. You are literally going to be paying for and helping test the game while features are still coming into the game and being developed. So Ashes of Creation is a great example there too. But we'll stick with Escape from Tarkov. The game's not done yet. All the features are not here. You are here to test and help the company actually, fine-tune things and get ready for the actual full product. So having feedback, if you actually care about the game, having such one-sided and just difficult responses in terms of feedback where it would be like, that's dumb. How do you learn from that's dumb? I understandably, yes, if you just read it you take it for what it is, that person does not like that feature. Okay, but how do you go from there? Because they have a plan. BSG has a plan for Escape from Tarkov. They want to go somewhere specific with the future of Escape from Tarkov. They think that feature fits into that future and fits into the grand scheme of things that is Escape from Tarkov. So whatever plans that they have and whatever reasoning that they have put in to that feature, it doesn't really make them, quick to step on, or quick to go work on that feature if all they know about it is that is dumb or that sounds stupid. So where are they going to go from that? And how are they going to fix that so that they can still go with the grand scheme of things and they can still stay on track to having the entire game that they want to have, but still, try their best to keep people happy? And that's just game development. Welcome to game development on that end. So something that I've always been preaching here is let's give some proper feedback. Don't make everything just so negative. And if you actually don't like something, explain why. So, say if that sounds stupid to you, explain that, maybe you are, maybe you do play. Maybe you put 20 hours a week. Maybe you put 20 hours a week into Escape from Tarkov and you don't have enough time to do that kind of a thing. Although that's kind of has its own reasoning and that has its own place, and then from feature to feature that might not make sense, but at least it's still a valid response. So, okay, so people that seem to not play the game as much, 20 hours is still a lot, but at least that's a certain criteria. So it seems like, whatever kind of level of player that might be, for 20 hours a week, it doesn't seem like that's in their scope. It doesn't seem like that's reachable for a 20-hour-a-week player. So if that maybe was a feature that they expected a 20-hour-a-week player to be able to participate in, that's some solid feedback. It doesn't seem like that's actually going to end up working out, and we can tune that based on, ease of use or however, achievements of that feature to help out that 20-hour-a-week player kind of a thing. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's say that it's specific to a location, but that specific location isn't actually the most played. So let's say we, what's the least played map in Escape from Tarkov, you guys think? What would that be? I actually can't think of it. So, you know, I don't think this is the case, but let's say Interchange, because of all the hate that I get whenever I say Interchange is my favorite map. Let's say that Interchange is the least played map. People really like Woods, especially with Sturman. There's a lot of stuff going on in Woods these days. A lot of people are saying Woods, so maybe it's Woods. We'll say Woods. That's a shit ton of people saying Woods, so maybe it is Woods. Personally, I like Woods, but especially after the expansion, maybe that'll be a topic for another day. I thought Woods is actually all right. But anyway, so let's say it is Woods, and there's a specific feature, like, you know, you have to, if you want the Mark 18, that's actually a perfect example. If you want the Mark 18, you have to go to Woods, and you have to, you know, be a high enough skill level to kill Sturman 25 times in order to get the Mark 18. The feedback there would be, okay, that's a bit excessive. This dude is already insane. Is the Mark 18 actually worth that? That time investment to actually get those 25 kills? In this case, the Mark 18 is fucking nuts. It is an insane weapon. So that is a really good structure. That's a really good way to put that. But if you give your feedback as that's stupid, that doesn't make any fucking sense, that's stupid, then how are they supposed to, you know, receive that? How are they supposed to work on that? But at the same time, you know, quote unquote, that is kind of dumb that we don't have access to that unless we need to kill, you know, technically one of the hardest bosses given the location that he likes to spawn in, and sometimes he can really get you with those SNB SVD shots. In terms of competition in order to get there and where he is on the map and stuff like that. So explain what it is difficult about that scav boss or that task in order to get to that weapon. The Mark 18 is an amazing weapon. It is probably the best weapon in the game. You know, round for round, it absolutely is the best weapon in the game because it will drop on one shot. It doesn't give a fuck about what you're wearing or who you are or where you're from or nothing. It is going to drop you in one shot if you're using the right round and you actually do hit the target in the chest. Generally in the chest. Actually, does it? If you hit someone in the arm, is that enough? I doubt it's enough. It's definitely not enough, actually. Scratch that. If you hit them in the chest, they're done for. I don't think it's enough flesh damage to, if you hit them in the arm, it takes them off. How much flesh damage is the Mark 18 if someone has that off the cuff there? But definitely, if you hit them in the torso, it does not care what you're wearing. It doesn't care who you are. It's going to one-shot you. So maybe, you know, BFG can look at that and say, okay, maybe that could be jumped down to 16. Maybe we drop that down to 16 and see what happens. And then they'll go and look at the stats. They'll see how many people have actually achieved that in game. What kind of player is that person, and does that make sense for that weapon? That's the kind of feedback. That's the kind of process that you would do to make a change like that. And absolutely the worst way to do it, if you actually care about getting the feature changed, if you actually care about the future of Escape from Tarkov, is saying something like, that's stupid, that's dumb, and then, you know, also there's usually something that adds like, oh, BSG is dumb, that's stupid. Like, they actually called the devs dumb. It's like, this is the stupidest company in the world. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Unless you were a troll, which, you know, granted a lot of the time it is, that is the least effective way to actually get change and to actually, you know, leave your mark on the future of Escape from Tarkov, which we're all here to do. We're here to test, and hopefully it improves the future of the game. So that's kind of the topic that I wanted to do today about, you know, some proper feedback and how to actually go at helping BSG or helping improve the game for the future and stuff like that. Now we get to the Q&A. So let's see what everyone's talking about here. Morning. All right. Again, guys, it seems like we might have someone misbehaving, and I didn't catch that in real time. So what we're going to do for a few minutes here is we're going to see what that does. If you guys are going to be weird, we're going to take away your on-screen chat privileges. If you guys are watching the VOD, if you go over to the right of your screen, you can see in real time. You can see an in real time chat, so you guys are still going to be able to see the chat. And you guys are seeing the new screenshots. There was a hot tub meme going around about with evasion there. So there's going to be some hot tub screenshots in there that people edited together. But anyway, if you guys do want to add your pictures to this the slideshow that we have going in the background there, just go and follow me on Twitter there. That's my link at the bottom. At underscore nice guy on Twitter. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm at like 930 right now. So if you guys go on Twitter and then you just straight up tweet, but you at me with a screenshot, I'll add it into the slideshow as long as it's appropriate. So anyway, and this is, you know, whether you're live here or in the VOD or whatever. So yeah, let's get to this. Hopefully you guys behave yourselves now that I took the chat away. And as usual, if you guys are going to be asking any questions, do at nice guy space Tarkov, because I get a different prompt on my chat here. So it'll make it stick out a bit better for me. So if I scroll up a bit, is it just me, or does your voice sound a little bit different today? I hope it doesn't. Hopefully that's something that is not wrong on my end. I don't know. That's actually been coming up a lot today, but I don't know. Maybe my voice is a little crackly today. I'm not sure. Hopefully it's. I'll check it out at the VOD after this. Hopefully it's not too significant. Should BSG allow for free-to-play scavving once released? I think there is a possibility of it being free-to-play. If you go and you look at the current secure containers, there's this fanny pack, or what's it called? I think it's a fanny pack. Whatever you guys call it in Europe. In the US, at least, you call it a fanny pack. And I think it's a 1x2 secure container. And I think the theory behind that is that if there was ever a free-to-play, your stash would obviously be lower, and your reputation with the traders would obviously be lower. But and you would start with that fanny pack or whatever as your secure container. But they might have ended up scrapping that. I'm not actually sure. But I do think that that's a possibility. And you would still have your scav. You would start lower than you would now if you bought the $45 version of the game. But it would still be, you know, you start from there, and you could eventually get up to Kappa if you wanted. You get the Epsilon. You can get your stash all the way up to what you would get with the OD to start if you wanted to. It's just you got to put the time in more. You got to put more time in. Did you know you can put small guns like pistols in rigs and then hotkey them? Yeah, that's actually one of the coolest things. They've had that. Yeah, they've had that since the beginning. That's actually what started the bug with being able to hide them in your secure container, because you could put the rig in your secure container if you have like a gamma, or if it was a 2x2 rig. Actually, are there 2x2 rigs? Maybe not. Or if you had the Epsilon that was like a scav vest or something, and then you would just hit the hotkey and you'd have a pistol magically from your secure container. But they took the rigs away from that. But yeah, that's cool. What features need to be in the game for EFT to release? So in terms of what need to be in the game, they have their roadmap, they have that plan. They haven't spoken too much about that in terms of the total scope of the game and absolutely having everything done past every single map that you see in when you go and you click the raid button. You go to actually go into a raid and you see that Escape from Tarkov map. Every single map that is on that, as well as the arena map or maps before launch, are going to be there. We are going to have, we are going to have terminal, which isn't a plane terminal, by the way. It's actually a boat terminal. We're going to have town. We're going to have suburbs, and we're going to have lighthouse. We're actually going to have lighthouse between now and streets. Actually, that was the current plan with lighthouse. I forget if I'm moving. Suburbs, town, terminal, and then lighthouse, and then arena. Yeah, that should be the rest of them. And then obviously streets. Streets is going to be, everyone knows about streets. Streets is going to be coming with patch 13. And so that's supposed to be coming. And past that, we haven't had too many assurances on like weapons or, anything, equipment and stuff like that. Past features. PMC Karma is going to be in before that. There's going to be multiple scav bosses per location before that. The older locations are going to be redone, which it seems like we've already got most of them. We got the interchange one twice. We got customs, we got woods, and we're going to have factory coming here soon. And I think we got a little bit of shoreline. They did shoreline a little bit before. It was I think it was around the interchange overhaul. I think it was just before the interchange overhaul. And then past that, in terms of when is launch, I know that they want Streets of Tarkov, they want the custom rig feature, and they also want the lore quests in the game so that they can actually properly give a launch window, because that is their most ambitious map, that is their most ambitious feature, and it is something that is actually required to have the game that they're looking for, which is the lore. Like, why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? The lore quests. So that's all. Once all 3 of those are in the game, they can actually have a proper idea of how long the rest of the tasks are going to take, and they can actually give us a proper launch window. Hey there, any info on when the audio patch is coming? You mean like them finishing? You mean like them finishing Steam Audio? Because they actually did Steam Audio with 12.10 already. Nikita said something about a dedicated patch before Streets. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. In 12.10, they did re-add. They brought back Steam Audio, if that's what you're talking about. So when are Lighthouse and Streets expected now? Streets has always been patch 13. Patch 13 and Streets, you might as well say them together. Like, it, you know, patch 13, Streets. That is the Streets patch. Patch 13, that is the Streets patch. That's what you're looking for there. Lighthouse is expected to be, or, you know, planned is probably a better word there. Lighthouse is planned before Streets. So we're going to be getting patch 12.11 and, you know, not, you know, any day now, but in the next month or so, next few weeks, hopefully. And that's going to be the factory expansion. And Nikita has said in the past that they plan on adding the Lighthouse location between the factory expansion and Streets. So in the next, you know, couple patches here, whatever, several patches here, we should be seeing Lighthouse before Streets. I just don't know what patch. That's the timing that we have right now. I used to do 32 to 37 hours a week for about 4 months. During those 4 months, I saw a ton of people whining about how the game was very broken and there were many problems. 1.5K, I saw none. I'm not sure what you're going with there. I mean, we do have to be honest there. There's plenty of people that have problems. That's going to be based off of your internet connection. That's going to be based off of your PC setup. Tarkov is a very grueling and very you know, taxing game on your rigs. So depending on what kind of PC setup you have, and there are some people that are kind of ignorant to how PCs work and what actual strength of your PC is. So if they just go to Best Buy or whatever and just see like the Super Gaming Rig 9000 or whatever, and it ends up being something like a 1070. Let's say you bought like a 1070 like last year or whatever. Like, they might think that they have the best PC in the world when it's kind of crap. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and then they go on to Reddit and they go on to the Twitter and they go onto the forums and say like, this game is shit, I can't even run it, like that kind of a thing. There's lots of stuff that go into that, and sure, people have high-end PCs. I have a very high-end gaming PC, and I still have issues here and there because it's still in development. There's things that could pop up like that. So I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to, you know, their specific feedback and their specific issues that might pop up in the game. But just saying, that's today's topic, just saying that's dumb or that's stupid or that's broken doesn't necessarily help anything other than you just venting your emotions after you bought the game and you're disappointed in it. That's really it. That's the way that I see it. So if you genuinely want the game to improve, you need to give better feedback than that. That's what today's topic is. Do you think there will be a way to fight against Claymore and whatnot, like being able to cut tripwires with pliers? Absolutely, 100%. They've actually already confirmed that you can cut. You're going to be able to disable them. You're going to be able to, you know, there's always the just don't step on them forehead argument. So I think mines are definitely a good topic for that sounds stupid. People are horrified of explosives and mines coming into the game to the point where I'm going to make a video where the title is going to go along the lines of basically mines are not going to be that bad. It's going to be the same kind of thing with the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher, granted, is a hell of a lot more easier to use. It's basically a one and done button and you might kill something kind of a thing, where the mines are, you get what you get with them. You're going to buy one claymore. You're going to have one claymore, and this isn't Call of Duty. You're not going to run up to a door and then, or you're not going to run behind the corner of a door, you know, hit one button and then it's going to give you the little dink and there's going to be a claymore magically on the ground and with 2 little lasers sticking out of it. There's going to be a process that you have to do to that. On top of, if it is a claymore, it's not going to be automatic. It's going to be manual. They're going to have a clacker for the claymores. And also, it's how you use claymores in the other games. Most games where we see claymores and explosives being used, it is to get a kill. It is to remove that person from the battlefield. You get your XP and then you move on. With Escape from Tarkov, you need to loot that person. And explosives and claymores are loud. So if you have to put the claymore in a position to get a kill and to be able to get that person's loot, you need to remember that that's going to be super loud. You're going to need to go loot that person. Everyone's going to know exactly where it is. We can treat it like the mines that you get if you are on Shoreline with outside of the terminal there, or with the mines around the PMC camp on Woods more recently. you know that someone is over there, you're going to go investigate. And if you're close enough, you're going to go investigate. So it's the same kind of thing with that, just more, because you're going to be able to put it wherever you want. You're going to be able to see tripwires. Theoretically, you're going to be able to see mines, but we don't know exactly how they're going to be buried or how they're going to be used and stuff like that. So we'll have to learn more on that end. But they are definitely not as easy as what most people think. Especially where, like, when it comes to the basic use of them, if you're just doing them to purely get a kill, and it's a manual trigger, like you're going to have the clacker for the claymore, why wouldn't you just shoot that person? It would be much easier and less expensive, cheaper, to actually just shoot that person, because you're going to need to have eyes on wherever that danger area or that doorway or whatever that they're coming through. So that's one of those things that we're going to have to see actually once it's in game. We give some proper feedback and we see how it goes from there. There's a lot more to it. This isn't Call of Duty where you just stamp it down and then that's it. That's the way I see mines, and I'll have a video on that coming up in the future. Are you looking forward to the Russian army and the USEC faction? You mean the UN? You mean UNTAR? Absolutely, because that's going to be a big hitter for the economy, right? Because it's going to be easier access, quote unquote, easier access to their gear. You're going to have easier access to that NATO kind of gear set with the UN, and you're going to have easier access to the higher tier. Although we do get a lot of that with raiders these days, but maybe they'll be easier to kill than raiders. I'm not sure. But we're going to have easier access to the Russian regulars gear. So that's the big thing that I'm interested in. Is it's gonna have a big hit to the economy because it's gonna give easier access to their gear. So yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, guys, if you use @NiceGuySpaceTarkov, it's much easier for me to see. I don't know if I hope you guys have the chat moving as quickly as I do. It's pretty quick, and there's a lot of people talking about everything, so it's tough for me to see specific questions unless you use @NiceGuySpaceTarkov. Open world is planned for launch. Yep. Open world is planned for launch. I can't see Lighthouse being a large map at all. What do you think? We'll have to see. We'll see how large they end up making Factory, because that's kind of what we're used to, is like we had to curve our expectations a little bit. Now, Lighthouse is supposed to be a very important location because that is supposed to be where the quote-unquote tutorial space is. And we were also supposed to be getting our first in-raid trader with that. At least that's the plans that I've been keeping up with. So Lighthouse is going to be very interesting. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Our viewers, at least for me, it shows that my viewers dropped off significantly. And it doesn't say that I dropped frames. And then they immediately came back. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully everyone's still with me. It says I still have the same numbers. So it's acting a little bit funky this morning. We'll see what ends up happening with that. And if you guys end up disconnecting or something, then the VOD's going to go up on the channel. If you miss anything, it should still be up on the channel. Do you honestly think BSG will get out all of these features by the end of the next year for release? You're going to have to give me a specific list. So if you're talking about what I've said where they're guaranteeing before launch, yeah, that's their plan. That's at least I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. If they said they're going to do it, then hopefully they're going to do it, And also by the end of next year, let's see where Streets is at. I'm sure that, they've always had their difficulty with giving actual dates. And realistically, what I am expecting to see happen is we're going to have Streets come in. We're going to have that, the custom rigs come in with the armor hitboxes and the lore come in. That has been their line that they need to cross in order to give us a proper release window. If all three of those are in and they give us a proper release window and then end up not hitting that is the true, okay, that's some real issues. Of course, I could see they're not the best, they're not the quickest, they're not the most efficient studio for sure, but they're not idiots. They know what they're doing. They're sticking to the plan. There's nothing for me to be significantly disappointed about because I have realistic expectations of what's coming. That's really what you need to do with stuff. And a big thing to remember here is that BSG were a handful of people 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it was a handful of devs. They were passionate about this project and they were building it. This time last year, everything blew up in their face because they had the Twitch drops and all that stuff. So they've been doing their best to increase the amount of people that they have in the studio. They've been doing their best to increase the server infrastructure, getting better people in the studio, and all that stuff. There's a lot that goes behind that. So from someone that understands the full process, trust me, guys, like, I know that everything I do here is Escape from Tarkov, but that's based off of just everyone wants to hear about Escape from Tarkov. It's the popular thing. It's a popular subject, and I know a lot about it, so that's just genuinely what I talk about. You'll see that I don't talk about, you know, I won't go bashing other games right now, but let's say, you know, there's another game out there that's kind of similar, and it doesn't really have the same kind of player base. Hell, there's like 10 different games that are sort of similar to this and don't have quite the same player base. And you don't see me covering those because I don't necessarily trust that. I don't necessarily think that that's going to, you know, go the same place as Tarkov. But I still follow them plenty close, and I still understand the dev process behind that project. But you see me here talking about Escape from Tarkov. So take it as you will. If you guys want to go a more negative route, there's plenty of creators out there that go more negative at BSG, so you can go hang out with them. But the way that I do things is what you see is what you get with me. What about Arena? Still needing more money from me. I think EOD should have Arena mode and future as DLC. They promised. So the thing with Arena is I have a couple of videos by now with the Arena mode. It's not actually DLC. The way that they're doing it is it's going to be considered a different game based on the back end, based on the entire creation of the game. And they actually have a separate team working on Arena. So like I said, I have an entire video explaining that. Again, based on my perspective, I think that this is the right. I really, really hope that EOD get Arena. But if it ends up not being the case, I personally understand why. And if it's not, and it's not something that you absolutely need to buy. If you don't want to go into Arena, then you don't need to buy it. It's not absolutely required for you to play the game in its current state. You're still going to be able to do everything that we're doing today. You're still going to have access to all that, all the maps and everything that's going to be in before launch. You just won't have specifically that Arena mode and then anything that is attached to that Arena mode. That is a very vital. That's a very specific discussion that that we can go down a rabbit hole with that, and I'll add to the list of things that we can discuss on another day. But like I said, I have a video if you want to go check that out. Speaking of Steam Audio, is it functional or is it still borked? They fixed the ghost steps, but they still need to iterate on it. I gotta speed these questions up here, guys, a little bit. I'm talking about Tarkov audio engine fixes, not Steam Audio. I'm not purely up to date with that past Steam Audio. I'm not exactly sure. I know that there's some issues with vertical audio and stuff like that, but past that, we are waiting for further iterations of Steam Audio. I don't have much info on that. I apologize. Sorry. Is the medical system in the game staying the same that it is in this patch? There's going to be further iterations. You're going to be able to drag bodies, and there's going to be buddy healing and stuff. I have a video specifically about the future of meds in Escape from Tarkov. If you want to learn more about that, Inky. 1.5 thousand hours. I meant the cap doesn't let me say that much. It's fine. I got you there, Goblin. Will there be new main character factions? There shouldn't be, because that's the whole point. That was in Hired Ops. That was in shoot, what was the one before that? Excuse me. I'm blanking on the arcade game before that. I'm blanking on the name of that game. But anyway, it was in Hired Ops. It was in their earlier games with the same universe. Contract Wars. Contract Wars was what I was thinking of. It's the same universe. It's the same lore. I don't see other factions popping in, but I think maybe with Arena you might get access with the Black Division. I'm gonna have to look more into the Black Division to see what's going on with that specifically. Why are there no picks from Lighthouse? Because it's not out yet. It's not ready yet. Hell, we don't even have picks from the factory expansion. Soon TM there, Robert. Curious question, move the ready button before deployment. How many thousands of human hours have been lost due to, oh shit, I accidentally pressed ready? Didn't they do that? I thought they moved it a little bit to the left. Am I crazy? I thought they already did that. Or at least with the last one, they already did that. Any ideas about daily, weekly tasks, if they be coming anytime soon? They said soon TM, but that's one of the questions that I'm waiting to hear back on. I don't think I've mentioned this yet today. I do have several questions out to Nikita specifically that I'm waiting to hear back on. Sometimes he doesn't answer them. Sometimes he does. We'll see if that is one of the questions I'm waiting to hear back on. So we'll see what's up with that. But yeah. soon TM on those. They're definitely planned, and we'll see what happens with them. I should have been drinking more water. I'm already losing my voice, guys. Sorry. If you could add one gun that isn't planned, what would it be? Honestly, they really hit all the guns that I want, to be honest. This is going to be like the gun encyclopedia of video games to me. Honest to God, they're all planned for me. And if you need the full list, check out my most recent future gun video for Escape from Tarkov. Especially the Scar. I really like the Scar. I really like the G36. The Benelli M4 is like one of my favorite shotguns, just for the looks and that it's semi-auto. Pistol wise, I'm just a Glock guy. I really like Glocks because of everything that you can do with them. So yeah, that's really everything's there for me. 1911, you can't go wrong with the double world champ with the 1911 there, and Nighthawk 2, which they're kind of doing with that most recent 1911. So yeah. Any player will be able to spawn on map anytime, right? There's a lot that goes into that, crackers. So the way that the map-to-map travel is going to work is they're going to pick a specific map, which I think is its factory first. Excuse me. I'm definitely losing my voice here, guys. I didn't drink enough water today. I think it's going to start with factory, and then you're going to be able to move from factory to customs. And then you're going to be able to move from customs to either reserve or woods, something along the lines of that. And that is to test, and that is to incrementally move to the open world Escape from Tarkov. So theoretically, or like in theory, what they're going to be doing is if you spawn on factory and you survive factory, you should be able to move to customs. If you survive customs, you should be able to move to either reserve or woods. I have a video specifically on map-to-map travel if you want to check out more about that. Tarkov is a expensive game for people that aren't in a first world country because of currency, etc. Will the game on the future become more accessible? I think the current plan, they have discussed this in the past, not in the future. They have discussed this in the past where there is theoretically an idea where it could become free to play, but you just start with way less than what you would start with the base version of the game. I don't know if that's still in the books right now. It would make sense to still be in the books. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Unfortunately, if you're having trouble getting the money or if you're having trouble getting the servers, then it's probably just not the game for you. As unfortunate as it sounds, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know what more to say past that. It's probably just not the game for you if it's just not accessible. It's tough, but it's reality. Hopefully that free to play ends up showing up, and hopefully they figure out some better servers for those countries that you're talking about. Geez, guys, I'm pretty behind. I'm definitely not going to be able to get to all these questions. Listen, everyone that's asked questions between now and then, I super apologize, but I'm already starting to lose my voice. I'm just going to do a big old reset right now. So I'm caught up with the stream as it is right now. Super big apology to everyone if they ended up leaving or if I don't end up getting your question, but I like to keep these to about an hour, and I'm already starting to lose my voice. So I'm back up to the current chat right now, and I'm going to start with Kevin Stewart up here. Looking forward to meeting buddies. That is going to be huge, yeah. So if you guys are still in the chat and I haven't answered your question specifically, don't spam, but do ask at NiceGuySpaceTarkov, and hopefully I'll get it before I finish off the stream here and before I lose my voice, actually. I gotta drink another piece. I gotta drink some more water here. Do you think they will be able to fix... Do you think they'll be able to fix the way hatchlings and pistonlings get a lot of money? The first day of this wipe, I was able to just run reserve and get 2 mil easily. That's one of those. That's just one of those Tarkov things. Hopefully, they can figure out a way to. Well, not hopefully, but eventually they'll probably be able to figure out a way to get some scavs around that loot and whatnot. Now, I've adapted to like the more that you bring into it, it's a risk game, right? It's all part of the risk, but the more that you bring into a raid, theoretically, the more that you're able to bring out. So you bring that backpack, you got to protect that backpack, so you bring some better armor. You got to protect that better armor, so you bring a bit of a better weapon with you, and then it waterfalls from there. It goes from there. So I'm on the train that the more that you bring into the raid, theoretically, the more that you can bring out of the raid. But that goes along with your playstyle. That goes along with your skill set. Whether you're going to be able to survive with that amount of gear, and that's just Tarkov for you. Personally, pistonlings and hatchlings, if you guys want to play that way, you'll see what is best suited for your playstyle and just go along with that. And BSG might be deciding to put some more roadblocks in your way. They might not. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully you can adapt. Do you think we'll be getting a Victory Day update with 2 new guns like the SVT-40 and the PPS-43? SVT-40 actually is planned, and that does make sense because they added the PPSH, right? They added the PPSH as a Victory Day thing, so that's a great example of something that I forget about. I'm going to take a note of that. What is the date for Victory Day? What is that? Is that like May 8th or something? Or May 9th or something? Or 12th? Something like that. It's in May, I think. Victory Day. Possible guns? Question mark? Because they did do the PPSH with that. They did do the PPSH, and the SVT-40 is planned. 300 Blackout M4 conversion. They already said they're not going to do that, actually, Jack. They already said they're not going to do that. But you have plenty of attachments and stuff that you can add to each platform, respectively. Get some Bob. Well, yeah, I gotta. Think Streets should be timed. Should be timed. You mean like should they give it a date? It's patch 13. That's the best I can do right now. Streets. Oh, you mean like a raid limit? Yeah, because that's just how the game works right now. We'll see once they have open world. We'll see what happens with that. Grenade fixes. I'm not sure what you mean there, Jim Twig. If you can elaborate on that, I might be able to answer you a bit better. What's the deal with Black Scorpion thing? That's the Black Division. The theory with that right now is because it makes the most sense that if you are like the elite of the elite for the arena mode, I think you're going to be considered quote unquote Black Division. They could show up as an NPC. They could show up as some kind of AI faction or scav faction in game. But I think the most reasonable thing to expect is if you are like the top 1,000 or whatever players in the world, you get some kind of special cosmetic thing for the Black Division. I think that's what they're going to end up doing with it. I think. But we'll see. Stop the stream and go. Health is more important. I'm fine, Emperor. Don't worry. Guys, I'm fine. As it is, I think I figured out what's going on with the stream for the Twitch stream. I'm not going to need my voice for the rest of the day because I'm just going to be editing anyway. Don't worry about it. Will Scav Karma more reward ones to play nice or more punish bad boys, aka more carrot or stick? I have a video specifically on Scav Karma that I just posted the other day. Powell P. I think that's how you pronounce that. That goes into detail on all of that. So I would direct you to that video. Has there ever been any info on what the DLCs will include? Yes, there has been some. There's going to be more extensive weather like snow and heavier rain. And there's also going to be heavier rain. That's exactly what you guys want to hear, I know. But, it's going to be more dangerous weather. And then also skyscrapers. The skyscrapers that you see in Streets, in the background of Streets there, that should become its own location. Or at least that was the plan at some point. And then also Scav Life. The Scav Life DLC where there's more extended things to do. There's more expanded things to do with your scavs, which will also include taking control of a scav boss in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, those are the DLCs that we know about more right now. That could also include like more weapons, more gear, and stuff like that too. Do you think that clothes like jackets and pants should have container slots like backpacks, vests, etc.? No, because they have their own. There's a different place to get that. There needs to be a purely cosmetic item, and I believe that's that item. Now they are going to add a thing called a battle belt, where that's going to include your GPS, your compass, your radio, and other stuff, and it might also attach to like your holster and stuff too. They're going to be doing more with that. So that might be what you're thinking of for the expanded like container slots. I would keep an eye out for the battle belts there, Canadian. What game mechanic or piece of content are you looking for most? Easily, when it comes to map, Streets of Tarkov, of course. Easily, when it comes to guns, I want to see the SCAR, which hopefully we'll be getting that with 12.11. And, well, not hopefully, we are going to be getting that with 12.11. And then the G36 after that. And then when it comes to features, the armor hitboxes with the custom rigs. The armor hitboxes, guys, I say this every single stream. I say this anytime anyone asks. it is going to change the game forever. It is legitimately, that wasn't clickbait with that title, with that video. And if you want to learn more, go check that out. I titled it The Biggest Change Coming to Escape from Tarkov, because it genuinely is. It is going to hit absolutely every facet of life in Escape from Tarkov. It's going to affect all the weapons. It's going to affect the economy because of the weapons. It's going to affect what armor you're using, because it is literally affecting that. It's the armor hitbox system. It is going to touch every single piece of Escape from Tarkov. So yeah, I can't wait when it's going to literally and figuratively be a game changer. The custom hitboxes for the armor there. Do you think they'll add a weapon toolkit to take guns apart in raid? That's actually planned. I'm not sure why it's actually not in game yet. You should be able to do extra modding in raid with the multi-tool. That's a soon TM thing. Skip this question if you want. What do you think of Ragman selling gloves, buff to Ergo? The way that gloves work right now is that it's part of the torso cosmetic, so I don't think they would be doing anything about that, actually. Just get rid of the secure container. That's your opinion. They really can't do that, because hundreds of thousands of people have bought the game for the secure container and expect it to work the way that it works right now. Sure, they can iterate on it a little bit, but just getting rid of it, you just can't do that. You can't do that. The problem around the run and loot naked or hatchlings pistoling is that the loot is random, and it should be completely random. Don't you agree? Yeah, that's a topic for another day, man. Seeker. Sort of agree, sort of disagree. Depends on the raid, depends on the person, kind of a thing. So like I said, topic for a different day. Like grenades through glass and fragmentation through doors. I think they fixed the through glass thing already. But that's a soon TM. They're going to be doing that with explosives. I see the birds in game. Do you think adding more wildlife would be a bad idea? Actually, yes. They already aren't. They're not going to add like wild dogs. They're not going to add actual bears and stuff like that, because there's already enough calculations going on in the back end for AI as it is. So for what it's going to add to the game, it's not worth the extra tax on the server. It's not worth the extra tax for the AI to be able to interact with you and, bears and everything that bears and real bears and dogs would do in the game. It's just not worth it. But, that's the way I see it. Do you know what's up with factory hard stuttering only map on high-end PC for me? It's probably because they haven't touched it in a long time, because they know they're going to do the factory expansion. Get back to me with that and check it out after the factory expansion. See how it plays after that. You said GPS. Do you think they will actually? That's actually planned. Yeah, GPS is coming, guys. GPS is coming. It's not going to work like it does in like Arma. Like, just because you have a GPS, it doesn't mean on your HUD you're going to know where your buddies are. You're going to need to literally look at the GPS to see where you are and to see where possibly where your buddy is. There's going to be like blue force tracking and stuff with that. And it is also going to be secure like it is with the compass. So that's planned. That's coming. Also, like more rangefinders and stuff like that are coming as well. Thanks for the stream, bro. No problem. Just make the container so that you can only put non-found in raid. That's another discussion for another day, man. You can iterate on it all you want, but that's a different talk for a different day. Is it actually 10? Wow, okay, so that fucking flew by. Hired Ops is a completely different dev. You can say that, but it's actually a sister company to BSG, and it's actually the same universe as Escape from Tarkov. And Nikita has said numerous times, anything that you find in Hired Ops or you find in Contract Rewards belongs in Escape from Tarkov, because it is the same universe. It's the same lore. It's the same PMCs. So as much as it is that you're right there, it is a different dev. It is a sister company to BSG, and it is the same universe. So yeah. Any info on the end game? That's a huge topic for another day. I'll keep that as a note. But end game, actually, I'm working on a video right now for how I see Escape from Tarkov at launch. So let's hit with a couple last questions here, guys, and then I'm going to take off for the day. And if you didn't get your question answered or anything like that, I'm going to be back again tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern United States time. And we can hang out again, and I'll have another topic for tomorrow, but hopefully it's something that you're interested in. You know what is up with interchange lighting? It's so blurry, it hurts my eyes to play. Try and mess with your graphic settings and see if that helps out. Try and mess with also if you're using post effects. Try messing with that. I know they've been getting a lot of complaints with that, so maybe we'll see some changes with that with 12.11. OnlyFans when? I'm going to be doing... I got to figure out my members thing. and that might also include some merch and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna go nuts with the merch, guys. It would only be like, it'd probably be like something with my logo. It'll probably have a couple catchphrases like fornicates. I think there's some funny things that I can do, like what Pest does with his moist. I think there's some funny things that we could do with the word fornicate. Since I say fornicate so much in my videos, I think it would make sense to do something with like a t-shirt or something. Like I said, I'm not gonna go nuts. But you guys have been asking for stuff like that, so I'll oblige. I'll see what's going on with that. Also, there can be like further Q&A aspects to that too with the members and stuff. So yeah, not OnlyFans, but the YouTube membership and stuff. Love the streams, keep them coming. That's the plan, Robert. Glad you like them. Do you think that BSG might rework the ballistic system to include wind as a factor for sniping at some point? That's going to be pretty difficult. That's going to be pretty difficult, specifically with windage and stuff like that. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see with streets, because streets is going to be pretty significant, because anyone that understands, you know, ballistics when in an urban environment, you're going to have those wind gusts that go in between buildings, and it could be different from building to building based on what's on the other side of it. So maybe if they end up doing something like that, we'll see it with streets. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. And depending on who shows up tomorrow, maybe we bring the chat back, maybe we don't. If you guys are in the VOD, you guys can see the chat anyway. And then obviously if you're here live, you can see the chat anyway. But we have some people misbehaving, so I had to take the chat away today. And again, if you guys have any screenshots that you want to add to this playlist that you see, or the slideshow that you see playing in the background, check out my Twitter, @niceguy on Twitter, and then just, you know, put the picture in there, and if it's appropriate, I'll add it to the slideshow. Otherwise, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. I'm at like 930 or whatever over there on Twitter. So if you don't mind following me over there, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, if you guys want the latest Escape from Tarkov news, subscribe to the channel. This is literally all that I focus on this channel, and make sure to like it. If you're watching the VOD, make sure to like it so that I get some feedback from you. If I didn't get to your question, I'll be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. and at 9 a.m. Eastern United States time. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a nice day. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And genuinely, I hope you guys have a nice day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.